that
to
it
be saged down. It was a lot going on with me. I had crystals, all kind of stuff going on with me to try to help me to get through the fact that, you know, the house could have possibly been haunted.
I feel like as actors, your mind knows that it's acting, that's theater in a way, but your body doesn't. Your body's kind of taking all that indirect trauma from your characters.
Yes.
So what do you both do to kind of just brush that away and decompress from the darker and heavier themes?
I guess I remember playing certain Shakespearean roles, and a wonderful colleague, Mark Rylance, would say, "Oh, you have to have a little ritual, so that when you take off your costume to kind of leave, you know, Richard III behind, don't take him home." So with this, I guess it was the taking off the prosthetics. You know, so it's going, hot towel, and here we go. And then, that little ritual.
Mm-hmm. Then you snap back into yourself.
Yeah.
And how about yourself, Brandy?
Well, I do therapy, and that helps me a lot. Decompress and get back to myself.
Oh my God, no, therapy works wonders.
It does.
Amazing.
It really does. I can handle my life stuff and handle some stuff with the character, and it just worked out for me.
When you go into those sessions, you also kind of break down the character for your therapist of like, this is what I'm stepping into and what could essentially affect my personal life.
Absolutely. You compartmentalize everything and you try to break everything down and just step away from it, because I do go to some dark places in this film, but I come out all right.
Belinda.
The theme of, you know, just motherhood from very different, varied perspectives. What was it like just kind of mentally stepping into that role, being, you know, a mother yourself?
Well, I'll do anything to protect my daughter, and that's what I use to bring that to Belinda. She would do anything to protect her daughter, and that's what she was trying to do the entire movie, was to protect her daughter from this lovely lady right here, Solange, and she did whatever it took.
Kathryn, for you, you'd mentioned taking off the prosthetics and really snapping into yourself, but what was it like the first moment you turned and looked in the mirror in the makeup room and said, "Oh, I am Solange now. This is who I am," for a while?
Yeah, it was. I mean, they're an amazing team. They're amazing artists. The makeup team. So you watch it going on bit by bit. You know, can I have a cigarette break now? A bit more, and it was a trial and error. So it's first, you know, I can't bear sitting. So it's, oh my God, I'm going to be 2 hours in a chair. You must be joking. But actually, as it's happening, you're also kind of chatting, but also thinking what's coming in the scene, and. So it was good time to kind of think, oh, this old woman, she's a so-called horror, but she also has her own loneliness. She's lost a husband, she's lost a child. So it's actually fantastic thinking time about the character to sit in the chair.
Wow, yeah.
It's like that prep time before. Yeah. And Brandy, we've obviously seen you in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. What have you loved just about the horror genre and what it's unlocked for you creatively?
Well, I love the fact that you get to be scared and you get to put together these scenes that scare other people, and you bring life to a character. And for me, way back in the day, it was just a lot of fun just doing that movie. I loved I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. They're doing a new one, I hear, and I would love to be a part of that. But I just love the horror genre. I don't really like horror films, but I love the horror genre.
You're like, it's different when you're on the other side of the camera, right?
Yes.
Like, I know it's fake, and I know we have to start a campaign to get you on this prize that's happening.
I would love that. I would love that.
It's gonna happen. I know the fans will make sure of it for sure. And I know that in a 2020 interview with AP, you also mentioned that you felt a lot more free going into B7, into that album. But I'm curious, taking that freedom and fast forwarding now to 2024, how that's translated to your acting and kind of the way you step into this craft.
Well, with this film, I felt so much freedom because of Sam and Max Eggers. They created such an environment and an atmosphere for us to just try and just see what works. And that's always good because you don't feel like you have to do just one thing. You can just try a bunch of different things and see how that makes you feel. And then you're reacting to amazing actors, an amazing cast, and it makes you feel free and it makes you feel like you're flying. So I had a wonderful time working on the film.
Oh, I love that there was that safe environment created
definitely.
to kind of allow that that fun and that freedom. And you also mentioned that you've been able to see the influence of newer art that you've had on newer artists.
Yes.
I'm curious if newer artists musically have also had an influence on you, where you're like, oh, I like the way this person, you know, writes their lyrics or the way they produce their songs, and I might transfer that to a potential upcoming album.
Yes, my daughter is a part of the new generation. She does her own music and she's starting to come into her own, and music is what she really wants to do. So I do know what's going on out there in her generation, and there are a lot of great artists out there that I admire and that I love that actually pay homage to me, and I'm really grateful for that. So it's just great to see young artists find their dreams and find their purpose and write their own songs and express themselves, and you know, to get to do that is just, it's just superb to be able to do that.
Moesha is my mom's favorite show. It was one of my favorite
Thank
shows.
you.
When you look back on just your acting career specifically, what would you say to the young Brandy that's going into Moesha for the first season in 1996?
Girl, you got this. Keep going. Don't ever stop.
Oh, I like that. And look, I mean, look, you kept going, and look at
Thank
this
you.
and this amazing film. My last question for both of you is, I read that the house that you all filmed in its own ways, had its own hauntings.
Oh my God.
I'm curious what some of those stories were where you were like, I'm maybe not going to go into that room or that side of the house.
I had stories where I couldn't handle it because someone actually passed away in that home, and I was so afraid. Like, I just didn't know what to do with myself. So I had moments. I had to be calmed down a few times.
Oh, wow,
yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Was it just you could kind of feel the essence? Or?
Yes, I just felt like something was going on in that house. So, not to disrespect anybody, but it was, I had a time.
And how about for you, Kathryn?
I have to say, I'm usually, you know, like in a theater, I go, oh, this theater has ghosts, or this one doesn't, this one has good ghosts. But I have to say that I was most just entranced by the crew, you know, because it was there were small spaces, and so, you know, huge number of people would squish into, you know, the bedroom and everything, and I just, and then you have to kind of melt them away, make them into ghosts, and say, oh, it's only Brandy and me. So that's what I remember more, actually.
Yeah,
That-
I had
that
to
it-
be saged down. It was a lot going on with me. I had crystals, all kind of stuff going on with me to try to help me to get through the fact that, you know, the house could have possibly been haunted. I don't know, but yeah.
But I mean, it made for a good movie.
Yeah.
The scares were there. Thank you both so
Thank you
much
so
for your
much.
time.